Okay, hello. Now, hopefully this will work a lot better than the last one. The last one, everything was going wrong. I think I got the chat working. So because I'm using Google Hangouts, I think I have to invite you guys to the chat, and that's how I do it. So what I did was I put a link in Facebook and on Twitter. So I put a post on there. So like I said, for the people who are joining, if you want to join me on chat, I believe because I'm using Google Hangout, you have to actually invite the people to join you on chat. So what I did was I put a link to the chat room on Facebook and Twitter. So if you click on those links, then you could join me in the chat room, and then you can ask me questions and talk with me and that type of a thing. And I'll mention that several times throughout the broadcast, since I'm still learning how to do this and figuring everything out. By the way, if any of you guys do live stream on a normal basis and you know how chat works and you know how all this works, please send me an email, please, because I'm really trying to figure this out and I'm having such a hard time with it. So I got my live working. I think I got the chat working. Like I said, just go to social media, click the link, and then you could join me in chat. And as we're waiting for people to join us and join the chat room, I'll start answering questions. So these are questions I got from Facebook, Twitter, and from YouTube, which, by the way, if you guys ever like watch a YouTube video of mine or anything like that, if you put a question in the comments below, I was thinking I could take those questions and then use them for the live stream for the next week. So if you have a question, just put it in the comment section and I'll use it. So let me answer some questions that I have right now. So far, I have one person in the chat with me, which is awesome. And who's new coming in, just go to my social media, Facebook, Twitter, and there's a link to join me on chat. Now, the first question is from Tim Riley. And he asked, which strip casinos have Let It Ride? Which, by the way, as I'm reading the questions, if I totally butcher your name, I'm so sorry. I do that all the freaking time. So, which strip casinos have Let It Ride? Now, a lot of Las Vegas casinos have Let It Ride. It was a pretty popular game, so it's in a lot of casinos. But you can find Let It Ride in the Four Queens, the Golden Nugget, Bally's, Lynx, the Wynn, New York, the D, Planet Hollywood, Green Valley Ranch, Harrah's, Circus Circus, the Cosmopolitan, Treasure Island, Mandalay Bay, Paris, Main Street Station, Mirage, and the Rio. And those are just several casinos that have it. There are so many other casinos that have it on top of that. And you can find it at a lot of casinos in Las Vegas. Now, Tim had another question. And Tim asked, is it better to sit at a full table or an empty table when playing Let It Ride? So is it better to sit at a full table or empty table when playing Let It Ride? Now, it's more fun to sit at a full table when playing Let It Ride. And also another perk to sitting at a full table is if you're at a full table, it's just sort of human nature to share your cards and see what other people have and that type of a thing. And if you share your cards, then this actually brings down the house edge by quite a bit. I talk about it in the last video that I had. So there is a perk to sitting at a full table versus an empty table. An empty table, you're only getting your 3 cards and the dealer's 2 community cards, and you don't get to see any other cards besides that. At a full table, you would see what everyone else has, or someone would say, oh my God, I got a pair, or I have a pair of aces, or that type of a thing. And it makes it a little easier to determine what these 2 community cards are going to be, which is why it lowers the house edge. Now, as far as dealing goes, as a casino dealer, you don't want people showing their cards to each other. So if you have a table full of people and they're showing their cards and they're telling, everyone what their cards are, just be really nice and kind and just be like, hey, just to let you guys know, you're not really supposed to do that. The casino doesn't like it when you do that. So if you could just refrain from sharing what you have or sharing your cards, that'd be awesome. So as a dealer, you do have to watch for that and make sure that the players don't share their cards with each other. Now, let's see here. Fun and Games asked, can you do a video on roulette? Yes, I do plan on doing videos on roulette. Same with craps. I plan on doing a video on craps and roulette. I am talking with UNLV at the moment. For those of you who don't know, I'm an adjunct professor at UNLV. So I'm talking with UNLV at the moment, and I'm trying to get clearance to use the lab. If I get clearance to use the lab, which I'm pretty sure I will, then I can start doing those videos, roulette videos, craps videos, that type of thing. But right now, the next video series that I'm going to do is pie gow tiles. So I've been writing the script for that, trying to get everything together, that type of a thing. So that's what my next series is going to be after Let It Ride, is pie gow tiles. James Wilder asked, there's a good chance I'll be dealing this game at a party tomorrow night. Since this is not an actual casino, just, play money, would it be okay if the cards are dealt more poker style instead of 3 at a time to one guest? Now, at a casino party, it's not an actual casino, so technically you could do whatever you want to do. Since there's no security cameras and you're not technically under like gaming regulation or the gaming control board or anything, you could do whatever you want. The only reason why I said to do 3 cards at a time is because it mimics the shuffle machine. So when the shuffle machine is shuffling the cards and it spits out the cards, it's spitting out the cards 3 cards at a time. So I put the cards out 3 cards at a time. When the shuffle machine is broken and the dealers are supposed to hand shuffle it, then what we have to do is we have to do 1, 2, 3 consecutive cards. We don't do this player gets a card, this player gets a card, this player gets a card, and I get a card like we do in blackjack, the machine. So we would do 1, 2, 3 for you, 1, 2, 3 for you, and that type of thing. But like I said, when you're at a casino party, it doesn't really matter what you do. You could pretty much do whatever you wanted to do because it's more for fun. And it's not under the strict rules and regulations of the gaming board. So now for the new people who are just joining us, I want to say this again. Apparently, I have to invite you guys onto the chat because I'm using Google Hangout. So I put a link in Facebook and Twitter with the Google chat and everything. So if you click that link, you could join me in the chat room and we can have a conversation. Now, like I said, if anyone else knows how to do live stream or chatting or that type of thing, please contact me and let me know what I need to do to make it more easy for my viewers. Now, next question is Wolfgar 1224 asked, can you let the initial bet ride and then pull back the middle bet? Now, this is a really, really great question. And I didn't go over it in my video. I wasn't thinking. So let's see. Okay, so you can see that. Let's say you have 3 bets right here. And you have, say, a potential, we'll give you a potential straight. Why not? So 10, Jack, Queen. Where's Queen? There we go. So we got a 10, Jack, Queen of spades. Now, normally this doesn't give you any money because you don't have a pair of 10s or higher. You need like matching 10s for it to count. Now, this might be a good straight flush. So the person might want to let it ride because a 10, Jack, Queen of spades, you might get a royal flush and get a huge payout. So you want to let the first bet ride to see what this card is. So you would just put your cards. Let's just put 2 cards right here. The player would look at their cards, decide that they want to let it ride for one hand, and they would put the cards. They could either put it under this one, which is the bet that we're at right now, or they could put it under their main bet. Either one works. And that would let it ride. So the dealer would come over here and show the first card, and it's a Jack of hearts. That's actually a really bad example. Let's do a different card. This is why I should look at it beforehand. Let's give him a 4 of hearts. So the first card's a 4 of hearts. Oh, that sucks. It's a 4 of hearts. Now he doesn't get the royal flush. So now he needs to pull back. He already let this first bet ride. But now we're on to the second bet now that the first community card is face up. So we're on to the second bet. And he's like, you know what? I didn't get my royal flush. I want to pull back. So we would take the cards and sweep it. And the dealer would push the bet back. Or in some casinos, you would do it like that, which I'm sort of a little clumsy at, which is why I don't initially do that. But you would push the bet back. And then you would go on to this one. Now, the main bet, you have to let the main bet ride no matter what. And that's an example of how you could let one bet stay, one bet push back, and the other bet stay, which, like I said, I didn't go over in my last video. So I hope that answers you guys' question on that one. And another one is Daredevil Bros 124 asked, what do you do if someone bets incorrectly and you didn't notice? This happens all the time. People are human. You know, it makes sense. It's going to happen. It's not a big deal. Don't freak out if this happens to you. As soon as you notice that, say, oh, for example, instead of having 3 bets that are $10 each, the person might have done $10 here, $15 there, and $20 there. And for some reason, you just weren't like noticing or thinking or whatever, and you passed by it. And then in the middle of the game, you have the cards out and everything, and you notice that the bets are like that. And you're like, oh, man, look at that. I messed up. What do you do? No problem. So you would call over the floorman and be like, hey, dude, I messed up. Show him what's going on. You know, obviously, the bets aren't the same amount. They need to be the same amount. I didn't see it before the hand started. I'm sorry. I didn't. Oh, by the way, never say sorry when you're on the table. The casino doesn't like you to say sorry. So just say, you know, I didn't see it. And he'll be like, no problem. We'll just take the chips. Okay, they're all even. We're good to go. You know, and it would continue on as normal. But the floorman would make that call. And it's up to the floorman. Each floorman is different. So some floorman might do something completely different than what I showed right here. But you won't get in trouble for it. You just have to make sure you call the floorman right away as soon as you realize you made a mistake. And that's pretty much the same for all casino games too. If you ever make a mistake or anything, then just call over the floorman as soon as you realize it. And it shouldn't be a problem. So that is pretty much all of the questions I got beforehand. I really like doing the questions beforehand because then I actually have some material for you guys to start off with. I got one person in the chat, which is awesome, and a few viewers. Now, for the people who are on, if you don't know, you could join me in the chat by going to the link that I posted on Facebook and Twitter. Apparently, I have to invite people in. We'll go over 1 or 2 hands while we're waiting, and then I think after that, we'll call it a day. So, oh no, my one person who is in my chat left. I had one person in my chat and he left. So, okay, let's do a hand or 2. And then after that, if there's no one in the chat room, I think I'll just call it a day for the broadcast. Oh, right. So if you don't have a shuffle machine, what you would do is you would shuffle the normal house shuffle. It depends on what casino you're at. Each casino is different for the shuffle. I would normally do riffle, strip, riffle. So riffle, strip, and then riffle. And you wouldn't burn a card. Instead, you would just immediately start dealing. So let's give this player some money. And let's give this guy some money. That over here. Okay. Okay, and for the people who are watching, again, please join me on the chat. I really appreciate it. So, the first person gets 3 cards. Second person gets 3 cards. Dealer gets 2 community cards. The rest of the cards go in the discard rack. The first person has, ooh, that's nice. They have a 6, 7, 8. It's not all one suit, it's different suits, but still, that's a straight possibility. So let's say we would let that ride. We would take the cards and put them under this bet right here. And that shows the dealer that they want to let it ride. This one is a king, jack, and 4. So we got a king of clubs, a jack of hearts, and a 4 of hearts. That's not really a good hand. So we're going to pull a bet back. So we take the cards, sweep them. Let's just pretend I'm a player on the other side. I'm going to sweep the cards. And the dealer is going to push the first bet back. So now that bet's not in play anymore, and we're going to put the cards right there. Now the dealer is going to show the first community card. We got a queen. Now with the 8-7-6, the straight, that doesn't really help it much. And this is also a good example of what I was talking about earlier, where you leave a bet back, you pull a bet back, or you leave a bet up, you pull a bet back, and then you leave another bet up. So the first one we left up because we thought, you know, hey, maybe a straight, maybe it'll work. But with the queen up, that's not going to work. So we want to pull one back. We're going to take the cards and sweep them like we would in blackjack, as if we're hitting. And the dealer is going to push the middle bet back to them because that's where we're at. We're on the second bet right now. Now, the mandatory first bet has to be left up. So because of that, the player is just going to put their cards underneath this chip. And they're done. They've made all the decisions that they can make, and they're completely done with that. So now we're going to go over to this second person, and they have a jack, queen, 4. So the queen doesn't help them at all. So they're going to pull a bet back. They're going to, sweep the table. And I'm going to push the bet back to them. And now I got a 6 of clubs. So with a queen of clubs and a 6 of clubs, that doesn't help this player. He doesn't have a pair of 10s or higher, so because of that, he loses his mandatory bet. And then the straight, well, we got a pair of 6s, and that's about the best we had with that. And a pair of 6s doesn't do anything because you need a pair of 10s or higher to win. So because he only has a pair of 6s, he loses both bets, and they're both bets that were left up in action. They lose. And then we go on to the next one. Now, on the next one, we'll do not only a normal bet, but we'll also do the bonus too. So the bonus is just going to be $1, and it's going to be right here. And normally we have little lights with, it's like a little metal contraption, and it lights up when the chip is on it. And then I have a little machine over here with a shuffle machine, and I'm able to lock out the chips and all of that. But because I don't have that machine on this table, I have to use an on-off lammer. I don't have an on-off lammer for both of them, so we'll just leave these 2 up as is. So that way I could show you that these are the 2 bonus bets. But if you were a dealer, you would put an on button right here if your light wasn't working. And then both of these would have both on buttons on them. And it would it would show the cameras that both of these lights are lit up. Now, that's only if your lights aren't working. So we're going to put the dollars back up here. These are the bonus dollars. And we are going to do the last hand, and I think we're going to call it a day after that. If you have any questions, please go to the chat. I put the link up. In Facebook and Twitter, so you could join me via that. So here we go. This player gets 3 cards. This player gets 3 cards, and I get 2 cards. When you're handing out the cards, if you're actually dealing the cards by hand, try to keep your hand as low to the table as possible. You don't want the hand to be up high at all, because then there's a chance that people could see your cards as you're dealing them. So always keep your hand as low to the table as possible. So the first one is a 4, 6, and 10. That's not really anything. So we are going to pull a bet back. So we sweep the table and we pull a bet back, and this goes down. There. And the second player has an ace, an 8, and a 2. Again, not a pair of 10s or higher, so we're going to pull a bet back. So they would take it, sweep the cards like that, and the dealer would push the bet back. Now for the first community card, we have a 7 of hearts. This doesn't really help this player at all, so we're going to pull another bet back. Again, they have a 10, 6, 4, and it's not of the same suit. So they're going to sweep the cards, and I'm going to push a bet back. And then that's the best they can do. So that's going under there. The next one, an A2 ace. So again, they don't have a pair of 10s or higher. So we're going to pull a bet back. So they're going to take it and sweep the table like that. And I'm going to push their bet back. And they're going to take their cards and put them under there. My last community card is a pair of 7s. Now, if this was a pair of 10s, this would be awesome because then everyone on the table would win. if this was a pair of 10s. But unfortunately, it's under a pair of 10s. So the only way you could win is, let's say, 3 of a kind, full house, that type of a thing. So the pair of 7s doesn't help, an ace 8 too. So unfortunately, they don't have anything. So I would take both of their money, the main bet, and then the bonus bet as well would not win. And then with this one, the pair of 7s don't help the 10, 6, 4. So this would lose as well. So I would take that bet, and it would be lose, or it would lose. And that sounds like a good couple of hands to go through for now. Let me give you an update or two real quick. Still working on my book. That's going really well. I just finished a chapter. I just wrote a chapter on tokes and toke bets. And I'm really excited about it because it's 18 pages long, 10,000 words on this one chapter. But I go over everything. I go over minimum wage, the base pay, the tokes, how much the floorman makes, how much the dealers make, the toke committee. I go over what people make in Las Vegas, what they make in America, what they make around the world. And around the world, I have like Portugal, I have the United Kingdom, I have Ghana, I have Russia. So I have a lot of stuff in there. And it's, like I said, about 18 pages long. I just sent it off to my editor. So that's going really well. And now I have to figure out what chapter I'm going to do next. And then, let's see, what else? And then I told you guys about pie gough tiles. So that's basically all the updates I could think of at the moment off the top of my head. If you guys have any questions or anything, put them in the comments section below. If you like this and want to continue what I'm doing, please follow me, become a Patreon patron, or follow me on Facebook and Twitter. And yeah, like I said, if you ever have any questions, just put them in the comments below and I'll try to help you guys out. So thank you very much for watching this podcast, or live stream, not podcast, live stream. I apologize that I had so much trouble before and couldn't get it up and running, and hopefully we're good now. So now I know where to put the light. Now I know how to hopefully do the chat. And I got a new camera. Yay. So hopefully it's a better quality video too. So thank you very much for joining me. I really, really appreciate it. And I will see you next time. Have a great day, you guys. Bye.